I'm here with the former WCW World Heavyweight Champion, WWF World Heavyweight Champion, the second ever WWE Universal Champion, third ever, Bill Goldberg. Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. And yourself?
I'm doing good, thanks. You're coming off a fantastic WWE run. You mentioned in interviews how difficult it was physically to prepare yourself for the last run. How are you feeling now?
Oh, I feel great as I'm sitting in my massage chair doing this interview. How I feel now is a culmination of 50 years of battering my body, whether it be in football, whether it be in wrestling, whether it be, just going to my Muay Thai gym 2-3 days a week. It's a life that I've accepted, and a life that I wouldn't change for anything in the world. But at the same time, it's a life of pain, and it is what it is.
Yeah, and you definitely had a very physical match with Brock Lesnar. I know there were a lot of people who were prejudging the match before it happened, and it went on to be one of the best, if not the best, matches on the show. How did you feel the match went?
Firstly, I appreciate it. Secondly, I think it was a very tense preparation, build up, everything. I mean, 13 years far removed from the business, 13 years removed from the match, and the way we went out. It was a different time. It was different circumstances, but at the end of the day, it was a negative in everybody's eyes, myself included. So to be able to have an opportunity to not necessarily erase that, but, put something ahead of it positive so that people don't dwell on that the rest of their lives and, get a little retribution, and go out and show that I can still do it. And there are a lot of things on that checklist going in that I had to take into consideration. I'm currently writing a book about my last run. I mean, it was there was a lot packed into a very short period of time, and at the end of the day, I'm honored, privileged, and humbled that anybody would think that I would have the ability to pull it off and give me the opportunity to show that I can. From the first day to the last day, I had all the confidence in the world, but no confidence at all. But that's what drives me.
Yeah.
Trying to be humble in every respect, and sometimes having the negatives push you to a point where you're in kind of a emotional tizzy about it. I don't even think I've ever used that word, but it's a mentally lobotomizing situation that I can sit here and complain about all day long. People won't understand it, but at the end of the day, I was the luckiest guy in the world to get the opportunity. So,
yeah.
People have made mention that I was so miserable throughout the run. Well, you know what? A woman is miserable throughout a pregnancy from time to time, but it doesn't mean that at the end of the day when she has the baby, it's a negative experience.
Right.
I tell it like it is. It sucks burping and farting all day because you're shoving your body full of 15 to 20,000 calories to try to be a semblance of what you were back in the day.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that are very difficult to do, and packing on weight, at 50 years old is an extremely difficult thing for me to do, because when I was 30, I was trying to gain weight. And your body doesn't react the same way, and they're through the miles of abuse that you've put on it throughout the years. Whether it be on the field or in the ring, it doesn't want to respond the way that it used to. But again, man, as miserable as I may have sounded throughout it, I'm more than humbled to have been given the opportunity to make it happen.
And it definitely did feel like I mean, I started Wrestling Inc. During the Monday Night Wars, and I know fans, from that era, it seemed like they finally got your run in WWE that they wanted. That they kind of replicating the run you had in WCW and kind of moving that to WWE. It finally happened. It didn't really happen the first time, and it seemed like fans were really happy with that.
Well, I'm like I said, man. I'm really honored, man. I'm honored that people would think of it that way. I mean, obviously, as a performer, you want the best for your character and your business, and you want to go out and do the best that you can do, personally, professionally, and personally and professionally. So it was a wrong that was rewritten.
Yeah.
I believe. Whatever the circumstances may have been, at the end of the day, I think the character finally kind of got what it deserved. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the character.
Right. And how was it working with Brock Lesnar this time around?
Brock's one of my best friends on the planet. He always has been, and he always will be. And whether, we're adversaries in the ring, it's a profession. So it's an honor and a privilege to step inside the ring with him, man. He's done a lot of things in his life, and he's the utmost professional, and that guy can work his ass off. Whether we showed 2 moves or 200 moves, whether it's the psychology or the simple art of selling, Brock Lesnar is one of the best that's ever been out there. So I hope people can appreciate the growth that he has made as a person and as a character throughout the years, because he's a pro. He knows what to do. And to be able to share the ring with him again, 13 years far removed from the last time, it was like I say, man, I may not be beating a dead horse, but it was an honor and a privilege.
Yeah. And given how tough it was, getting in shape and putting on the weight and everything, is that something you can see yourself doing again?
I was in the gym yesterday doing my Muay Thai. I'm in the gym. I took a month off. My body needed it. My body needed to recover from the toxic shock that I kind of put it through. It was a very traumatizing physical experience for me. So yeah, I let my body rest for a month, and now I'm back at it. Personally and professionally, I mean, it's something that I'd have to take into consideration if it was ever presented to me again. But as far as the physical aspect is concerned, as I'm sitting in my gym and looking myself in the mirror going, well, what am I going to do with this? So, I mean, I don't think it's an impossibility, but it might be an improbability if I ever, lace them up again. But hey, you never say never, man. I mean, like I said the last time, it's not, you never know who's next, and you never know what's next. So
if you were to come back of the wrestlers today, are there any that stand out that you'd really like to work with?
Man, there's so much young talent there that has the possibility of being the next superstar. Obviously the guy with the big push now is Braun, and unfortunately he's hurt. Great kid, great work ethic, obviously great character. It'd be, I would be remiss in saying that stepping in the ring with Roman wouldn't be fun. Corbin, there are a lot of guys that are worthy of getting their ass kicked by me. But, at the end of the day, like I said, there's a lot of great people to leave this business with. And I think the stars of the future are just right on the cusp of breaking out. And there's a plethora of talent there that I think could be the next big thing.
Well, thanks a lot for taking the time to speak with us. Where can fans follow you?
You know, the best place nowadays, man, it seems like Instagram's taken hold more so than anything else social media-wise. So Goldberg95 on Instagram and just plain old Goldberg on Twitter and, you know, BillGoldberg.com. And I'd say Instagram and Twitter are probably the best ways to keep up on everything that is Goldberg and Team Goldberg, because we got a lot of things coming up the pipe. So stay tuned.